Module 1, we learned about cultural diversity and how it's a combination of biological and cultural diversity. Biological diversity being the different plants, animals that inhabit various ecosystems, while cultural diversity is various groups, ideologies, religion, and heritage. Both are important to our way of life, but they also have experienced change. Like Chimanda from TED Global said her culture was never taught to her, but Americanized ways were. Or even our mass invasions of taking indigenous peoples' lands and vital culturally significant species. Taking away any cultural diversity, we can never know valuable plants for medicinal purposes, like Galvin's story with his foot. Having diversity, we can learn how to better survive. In Module 2, we learned about agrobiodiversity, landscapes, heirloom variety, and cultivation. We saw how the Monoman had a landrace of heirloom rice and how the university tried capitalizing on the Indians and creating genetically modified rice, passing it off as theirs. Even with the Hopi in the desert, with their base of agrobiodiversity, created sustainable corn crops. Making things more personal, we learned about how we could eat more sustainably while eating with the seasons and a balance of diet. Opposingly, we learned food deserts are areas where healthy options aren't available, but fast food are, which is prevalent in minority groups. In Module 3, we learned about cultural keystone species and ecological keystone species. Cultural keystone species being a species that shapes identities of people, like meals, practices, and medicine, while ecological keystone species are valuable to an ecosystem, like from the Jinwick, the porcupine, caribous are a source of respect, spiritual guidance, food source, clothing, and tools. Sometimes a species can be even both, like the bison or the others listed. Regardless of it being a cultural keystone species or an ecological keystone species, both play a valuable role in our ecosystems, and when taken away can do more harm than is realized. In Module 4, we learned about ecological conservation, restoration, and the advocacy and activism on the matter. Learning of the senseless cutting of redwoods in Humboldt and the brave activists like Butterfly who slept in the trees was shocking. Knowing the mass effect of clearing on our quality of life is crazy, especially after listening to Suzanne Simard, who studied trees and identified their communication and the knowledge they share amongst the others, even CO2 levels. Without trees, breathing our way of life would change completely. In Module 5, we learned about ethnobotany, ethnobiology, ethnozoology, and ethnoecology. We looked at how Pultkin found a cure for his foot in the Amazon based on the Amazonian people's knowledge about their environment and the species that live in it. The people of the Amazon have been made a spectacle and turned into human exhibits for outsider entertainment. In addition, we learned how sacred landscapes can be granted by the government and also can be taken away. Sacred ground has meaning to the natives, religion, practices, and culture, and Corinne Pierce fought for sacred plants being killed from construction, or even the Tato community and their preservation of indigenous species that were either wiped out or near to wiped out from the ecosystem.